Hey, what's up guys? Dan here. Today I'm going to be taking you through a complete step-by-step full body workout with exercise variations sorted by whichever fitness level you're currently at, whether you're just starting out at the gym or an advanced lifter. All of the exercises in this routine follow basic movement patterns, which are the foundation for a well-rounded training program with the intention of building overall strength and balance. So we start with the lower body, and the first movement pattern is the squat. Here we're talking about your ability to move your body up and down by bending and lifting. The most basic form of the squat at the beginner level is the box squat. This is a great starting point if you're a beginner because it allows you to come to a complete stop at that bottom point of the squat. For this, you can use a bench, an ottoman, or anything that will allow you to lower your thighs to a point where they are nearly parallel to the ground when your butt comes down to tap the box. We then transition to the dumbbell drop squat, which is a great progression to the bodyweight version because it now places a greater demand on both your lower and upper body to properly execute the movement, while still reinforcing the exact position that your body should be in as the dumbbell falls right in line with your center of gravity. We then progress from there by shifting the weight to your back with the barbell squat. Guys, this hasn't been called the king of all exercises for nothing. When executed properly, this serves as a true test to your overall strength, core stability, and hip mobility. We now move on to the next movement pattern, and this is the hinge. Here we're talking about a fundamental movement pattern that teaches you how to properly bend forward. There is no better way to help reinforce this motion than the banded hip hinge. The tension created through the band allows you to move your torso back into a horizontal position as it pulls at your hips. The key here is to engage your core as it shifts both your pelvis and lumbar spine into a neutral position when you come down, and then reverse that motion by squeezing your glutes and pushing your hips forward and upward back into the vertical position. We now move on from here into the RDL, or dumbbell Romanian deadlift. With this progression, we're placing a greater demand on our posterior chain, helping to target the hamstrings, glutes, and back a little bit more. The advanced version swaps the dumbbells out with the barbell, helping to further develop that strength in your posterior chain muscles, especially on a drive back up into hip extension. Next and third on the list of movement patterns is the lunge, specifically the reverse lunge. I like the reverse lunge over the forward lunge because it reduces pressure on your lower back and is a lot more forgiving on your knees with the weight of that forward leg being shifted to your heel rather than to the ball of your foot. So we start here with the bodyweight version for beginners where you are alternating back and forth with your right and left leg. You then can take it up from there into the dumbbell reverse lunge. Again, we are simply loading up a little more with the dumbbells, which will require more glute activation when you lift yourself back up from the lunge. You can even take it a step further by bringing one of the dumbbells up into a goblet position and stepping that back leg off of a 4 to 6 inch elevated box. The deficit created by the box takes you into a much deeper range of motion by getting your thighs past parallel, hitting those lower fibers of your glute max to a much greater degree, all the while forcing you into a position to have to maintain good posture with the dumbbell up in front of your chest. We now flip to the upper body with the first of 4 movement patterns called horizontal push, which targets your chest, shoulders, and triceps. We start here with the push-up, which not only engages your chest but builds upper back and scapular stability by providing you with a level surface for your hands to come down and push back up on. We then move away from the ground and challenge that stability with a dumbbell bench press, slowly lowering each dumbbell to our sides and then concentrically pressing them back up. The great thing about this is that it helps to address and correct any unilateral muscle imbalances you might have between your right and left side. This brings us to the advanced version where now, with having built that unilateral strength, you should be at the point where you can stabilize and control the path of the barbell with each and every rep. The next movement pattern follows the same motion just in the vertical plane. With the vertical push, we're targeting mainly the shoulders and the triceps to a lesser degree. We start here with the seated dumbbell press. This is a great option for beginners because the bench provides you with a backrest for support and will keep you from excessively arching your lower back when you're pressing the dumbbells overhead. You can then work your way up from there to the standing position with the standing dumbbell press, which will require a lot more core stability and forces you to have to work harder to keep your spine neutral. At the advanced level, we have the barbell overhead press, which really demands whole body tension and the proper alignment of multiple joints throughout the movement, as you now have to move your body around the bar in order to be able to raise and lower it back down. We now flip it to the back by working on the muscles of your upper back, lats, and biceps. The horizontal pull helps to strengthen shoulder blade retraction by pulling your elbows alongside your torso. We start here with the TRX row, which is another great beginner exercise because you're building up all of those major muscle groups in your back that are necessary for the more advanced exercises to follow, while allowing you to manipulate the intensity by adjusting the angle of your body relative to the bands. At the intermediate level, we're adding some weight here and focusing on building unilateral strength with the single arm dumbbell row. Here we're placing a greater challenge on your core to stabilize and keep your trunk from rotating excessively with the feet positioned in a symmetrical stance. And at the advanced level, we have the landmine row, which is the exercise variation that I prefer to use in my programming over the barbell row because of the setup. The arc motion of the bar, the more natural grip of the handle, and the angled load of the weight help to better stabilize your shoulder blades and offset a lot of the stress that can be placed on your lower back with the barbell row. We move on to the vertical pull, which again is just changing the orientation of the same movement pattern that preceded it. We start here with a TRX assisted pull-up, which helps you build that mind-muscle connection you need to progress to the body weight pull-up. Throughout the movement, you want to be keeping your feet flat on the ground, but use them just enough to bring your body up as high as you can. That activation should be felt mostly in your back muscles on the way up, and it's greatest when you squeeze at the top and lower down under control. From there, we move on to the band-assisted pull-up, where you now have to lift your entire body in space, but with the support of the band at that concentric portion of the pull-up. The thinner the band is, the more of your body weight you're going to be pulling. So this is a great level to where you're going to really be seeing tangible improvements in your pull-up as you progress your way down to the lighter bands and use less and less assistance. And of course, at the advanced level, we have the bodyweight pull-up, which now requires a greater degree of stability and strength through your shoulders and your core in order to be performed effectively. This brings us to our eighth and final movement pattern, and that is rotation. Twisting is not only a fundamental part of our everyday activities, but being able to contract our abs properly will help us to maintain good posture and alignment up and down the kinetic chain. We start here with the rotational crunch, which provides beginners with a stable position to be able to lift those shoulder blades up off the ground and keep that lower back and pelvis fixed down to it. This then brings us to the bicycle crunch, a more dynamic version of the rotational crunch where we now have to more actively engage our rectus abdominis and execute the movement from the obliques by rotating the shoulders, not the elbows, as we are bringing each knee slightly past the hips. This finally brings us to our last variation at the advanced level, the hanging twisting knee raise. Here you're challenging your obliques to a far greater degree because of the weight of your body coming down as you're coming up to bend your legs to each side. The key to this one is to keep your torso as still as you can and focus on curling your pelvis underneath so that your butt comes forward out in front of you. Now that we've gone through all the levels and exercises to each movement pattern, I'm going to be giving you the exact workout plan you need to follow with the sets and reps included. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you found the video helpful, please leave a comment and thumbs up below. And if you're enjoying the content and want to see more, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss a new video when I put one out. We'll see you until next time.